So a couple of people have indicated they wouldn't mind hearing a few more travellers' tales. So where were we? We'd been to Milano and was back down into France. And it was time for the grapes to start. It must have been September. And got the first job in a place called Langon. Remember waiting outside the Café de Sport. Anyway, I get this job. And picking grapes is no bowl of cherries, I tell you that. It's very, very hard work. And this was 30 years ago. I was 17 then. And just put you in the picture a little bit. It's like 17-year-old kid from a council estate in Leeds, never been out of the country before. So it was all new to me being there. Everything was new, and made a big impression on me. Anyway, doing the grapes, it's back-breaking work, and the job I got was you put this like a bucket on your back, and all the other people empty into buckets, and they empty their buckets into this pannier that you carry on your back. And these days people who do it are spoilt really, because they've got plastic ones. But this thing I had on was like a big coal scuttle on my back, made out of zinc or iron. It was made out of metal anyway, and it was really painful because instead of straps it just had rough pieces of rope, and they dug right into your shoulders. Anyway, so I finished that job there doing the grapes, and then I went to another place called Sant'Emilion, and that's a really good wine. And there's loads of stories I could go into, but I ended up with a big bunch of French freaks staying in their house, and we did another vendage there, another term picking grapes there. And I was getting on towards the end of September by then, and the next place for the grapes was up in the north of France in Champagne. So I went up to Champagne, and I got a dodgy job there. That was real hard work, and the money wasn't so good, and the food was not so good either, and it was cold up there. And on the same campsite there was a Belgian couple, and they said, "What are you doing when the grapes finished?" And I said, "I don't know yet." And they said, "Well, come up with us to Belgium and visit us in Belgium, in Ghent." That's Ghent in Belgium. And so I had nothing to lose. I didn't really fancy going back to England, so I thought, yeah, we'll go to Ghent. So everywhere I went I was always hitchhiking. I never used a train or a bus. I used to use my thumb, and I never had a problem ever. So I went up to Ghent and went to the house where they were living, and it was really nice in a way, because there was a 18-year-old Swedish girl staying at their house, looking after it. And this Belgian couple, they were travelling to Morocco, and they said, "Stay in the house. We're going for 3 months. You can stay in the house for the next 3 months if you want." And me and the Swedish girl hit it off quite well, and we ended up living in this house in Belgium, in Ghent, and that was really good. And then it's amazing at that age, just things happen to you. You've got nothing to lose, so it's not a problem. You can only be better. If you haven't got anything, you can't lose nothing. So I managed to hang around I think I stayed in Belgium till December, and managed to just about live on the rest of my grape money that I'd made picking grapes, because we lived pretty frugally. And then I nipped off back to England for 3 weeks to get some winter clothes, and then I met up with the Swedish girl again back in Ghent, and then we decided to hitch down to Greece. And so we hitched down to Greece from Ghent, Belgium, down into Italy, and all the way down Italy to Brindisi, and took the ferry over to Greece, to Patras in Greece, and from there we went into the Peloponnese, and I think on the first or second day we got a job picking oranges, and that was pretty wild down there. There was quite a lot of mad English, Germans, French, all nationalities, all mixed together, all living down in Greece and doing oranges. And that was good. I stayed there 6 months, and we found a really nice cave to live in, and we lived in the cave for 6 months. And then in May, end of May, we decided to leave Greece. So we hitchhiked from Greece through Yugoslavia and up through Germany, up into Denmark, and then across to Sweden, then up Sweden to a place called Jönköping. And there was my Swedish girlfriend. Her parents had a summer house on a little island, and I went to this little island, and first of all I got a job picking strawberries, and it was incredibly well paid. It was unbelievable. It was like, I think it was about, I was earning about £20 an hour, and that was in 1980, which was real good money for them times, although Sweden is expensive. And then I got another job in Sweden making trolls. I'll just go and get a troll to show you what a troll looks like. So these are the trolls I was making in Sweden. It's these little things here. I don't know if you can see them well. So I was making these trolls, and that was a great little job, that, because the guy who started the idea off, we used to, really early in the morning, we used to rent a speedboat, and there's a big lake in Sweden called Vatten, and we used to go out on the speedboat to this little beach. It had just the right pebbles to make these trolls, and we collect up a speedboat full of these pebbles and go back to his workshop, and we'd stick them together with plastic padding. That's the stuff you use for filling in cars where they've got rust. It's a sort of like 2-part formula glue, and you mix it together, and it's perfect for sticking stones together as well. And we used to stick the pebbles together, paint the eyes on, and then dip them in varnish, leave them to dry, and then we stuck this hair on, which is pieces of scrap wool dyed, and that was a good little earner as well. So that's what I was doing in Sweden, and I stayed in Sweden for 3 months doing that. And I think we'll leave it for now for the story, because I don't want it to be too long. So let's leave it in Sweden and leave it to the trolls. Well, it's red hot here today, 31 degrees. Tomorrow it's only going to be 15, but it's a kind of a freak hot weather today. Anyway, whatever you're doing, have a good one and have a nice day.